for 2.2 seconds instead, and an explosion recovers your armor. On the White Scar's Chainsword though, the first stack will give you a 30% damage buff with a lingering effect of 2.2 seconds, the third will give you a 70% damage buff with a lingering effect of 2.2 seconds, and the third will give you a 150% damage buff with a lingering effect of 4 seconds instead of 2.2. So the actual damage calculation here comes out to like 1.52 times your normal damage, and because of that lingering 4-second effect, you can actually go from a light into a stomp and still have the Adrenaline Surge damage buff here active without a full throttle combo skip. But if you want to reach your stomp and have your Adrenaline Surge buff active on the normal ones, like up to 2 charges, you will require the combo skip because otherwise it is too slow to come out. That being said, this weapon does a ridiculous amount of damage because of that. I do think it is currently the best chainsword in the game because the 8 speed here alone, that gives you a ton of utility on your weapon, and because of that, you're able to do things like just be able to bash enemies you normally could not, stomp enemies you normally could not, get HP back from swift recovery you otherwise would be unable to, and because the staggering effect of block weapons lasts for that like lingering effect duration as well, all you have to do against like a Hellbrute is just smack them with a light combo and you will just be able to still stagger them over and over and over, and having a 4-second duration on that third stack on a Hellbrute means you can pretty much just catch them into like a full combo and chain stun them for all 4 seconds, so a really powerful option to like damage stack for yourself and your teammates. Now I'm going to show you a couple combos to one-shot Extremis here. Now you do not need the perk down here Extremis Slayer like I mentioned before to do this. All you need is Majora Slayer or like really any setup like this with Perpetual Strength. You don't even need like the combo skips. We're going to go to the battle simulator here and show that now. Alright, so here in the battle simulator, all you have to do to one combo this guy is off of that light, heavy, light, heavy.
Servant of the archenemy sighted. Brothers, we have arrived at the relay. Brace for warp exposure. Refilling magazines. Ready for next encounter. Is this the glory of magazines? This relay is defiled by sorcery. Obtaining armaments. Possible heretical activity in the lower levels. We have been displaced. Extreme heretical corruption observed.
It hungers. It will seek out your anguish to whet its appetite.
The corruption must be concentrated nearby. Depravity bleeds from the very walls. Thousand Suns assault incoming. Execute Iron Halo tactics. I suspect that astropath no longer serves the Imperium. We must eliminate it.
True gods will reign.
Frag grenade deployed. Execute the spawn. Calibrate your aim. Enhanced tactic ready. Engaging elite countermeasures.
I see. Champion in the ether. Approach and binge upon their suffering.
The Thousand Suns wield our former astropath as some foul puppet. Full tactical force authorized. Thousand Suns warding protects the astropath. Eliminate the altars. Hellspawn destroyed. This wicked shrine is purified. Enemy substructure negated. Neutralize compromised astropathic assets. Dark altar falls. The shield falls! Brothers, kill the witch!
Do not fear, changes of way. Path has been set, your fate decided.
Our position has changed, but we must still advance!
None shall escape the insatiable war of transformation. You will be only the first.
Dark confluence of unholy power ahead. We died here on Amaranth, brothers. And this is our damnation! Deceptive auditory tactics in play. Do not engage. Target the Zankor Steel. Hellspawn. Destruction required.
Ready to jump with sacred fury. Skin shot into.
Reloading. Ammunition restocked. End that astropath!
Will reign.
Inhaler ready.
Emerge, discordant one, and remake this realm in the name of the dark gods.
Powerful heretic combatant detected. Move to investigate. We must bridge the distance between us and the astropath. Practical. Utilize local machine spirit to construct passage. Seek power cells for that generator, and then we may smite that heretic. Improvised objective. Locate power cell for the generator. Located power cell on my locus. Readying new power so.
Nearing the generator to replace the power cell.
Enhanced tactic ready. Friendly fire issue. Obtaining armaments. Find power zones.
Power dwells within this device.
The swarm must be eliminated. Conflict resolved.
The heretic awaits. The generator will create a path. The shield is fallen. Release the astropath from this torment.
New path ahead. New objective. Eliminate any and all warp aberrations.
Not turning back. Understood. Tactics. Healing tools marked. We must follow the path of corruption to seek our quarry.
Focus on the beast and engage.
Press the assault! Unleash your wrath!
Experiencing warp corruption symptoms. Warning. Incoming warp flame barrage. Highly lethal. Administering aid.
The demon beast is escaping! Coward!
Target is manipulating reality. Sorcery suspected.
Malevolence tears at our spirits, brothers!
Search for egress points.
Rally to the hint of light!
Online.
I am led to salvation. Now I shall have that beast's head. The demon's foul limbs are prime targets.
Confirmed. Mutant
that is without Height and Vigor, that is without Extremis Slayer, that is the best combo for just one-shotting these Ravener guys, at least for like Tactical or Vanguard. But I will say, there is a reason to use the combo skip, which would be like this, like light, heavy. This doesn't actually kill them on the Extremis here, unless you have things like Height and Vigor, like Battle Focus on top of that. But the big thing here is that the combo skip will allow you to do combos against Hellbrutes and some like the larger hordes you otherwise could not. And I'll also be showing that here in a second, starting now. So the optimal combo against a Hellbrute here would be you get all 3 stacks up, and then after that you go to a combo skip, bash, light, stomp, and you will catch them because of that 4-second duration at the end of your stomp with the double charge still active. So we'll stagger him, and because of that, I'll show it again here. You can actually do a further combo to him that you would usually be unable to, at least not without doing some other shenanigans. So 1, 2, 3, stomp, and then bash, and you've just done a lot of free damage to that guy. And that's without Height and Vigor from that mind, like over 600 damage, so that's quite high in this game. So hopefully that showcases the use case scenario of the combo skip, and I will show a full combo skip guide here in a little bit for the full throttle skip. But as far as like chainsword setups go, you really have a lot of options on this weapon. You can go full Extremis damage down here for Extremis Slayer. You can just pick up a Door Slayer, and you will still hit that breakpoint on hard strats and absolute. Now, the combo skip or the proper combo for the light, heavy, and you get light, heavy on the Extremis, that will one combo them on both absolute difficulty and hard strats. It's just that things like the Missile Terminator, things like the Lictor, they are a bit harder to get a full combo on because Lictors are just really awkward too because they move around a ton, and like even if you catch them half the time, it won't give you the proper damage amount. So for that reason, it is a bit obnoxious for them. And Missile Terminators just don't give you 3 stacks very often. But like melee Terminators and the Raveners, as you saw in the actual like the gameplay portion, they will allow you to just one combo them off of like this perk and this perk down here as well. Now I will say, if you want to go all the way down the bottom tree for like momentum gain, you do get a little bit more damage on that light, heavy attack, and that does help out a bit. I have heard some people say this one works on heavy attacks as well, even though it says it does not. That is not confirmed to me. If it is, I will put it in the pin comment. But for now, that is pretty much the optimal setup in my opinion. And you can even go into like a double stomp for Trampling Stride here. And to be honest, if you want to skip over like some perks and just go up here straight instead of taking like the bottom 3 here and go for like Armored Strength into the perk here, Crushing Heal, skip Perpetual Strength, and pick up Trampling Stride, if you can do that, that is definitely an option. And honestly, the double stomp here might actually be better than the double stomp on the Double Edge Relic, which is pretty funny. Like, that is just how strong the heroic chainsword is currently. Now, this brings me to the next portion of this guide, which is the full throttle combo skip. Now, this will allow you to do a combo skip, which means you skip over one attack in your combo chain. So, for example, instead of a light, heavy into a bash, you're doing a light immediately into a bash, or a light into a stomp and things like that. So, really worth picking up pretty much every time for every chainsword in the game, except for the Double Edge Relic tier here, because the heroic fistfight perk effect already gives you a combo skip on this one, so it is a redundant effect to take the full throttle perk here for that. I will show how to do this in game in a second, but the big thing here is this is worth taking because it opens up a ton of opportunities. It allows you to have your Adrenaline Surge charges active on that 3-stack here with your Jagoras on a Trampling Stride double stomp, or you're able to skip to a stomp before you run out on the first 2 charges because those only last 2.2 seconds. So really good for utility, also just really good for damage in general in a lot of cases, because the bash is very strong to actually combo into other things, because usually you're unable to combo off of a kick or a punch and stuff like that as easily, and Swift Recovery benefits from this a lot as well. So I'll be showing that in game now. Alright, so here we are in game to talk about the combo skip. Now, all you have to do to perform the combo skip is use the full throttle attack or take the full throttle perk. That is simply this charge attack. Now, this charge attack sucks ass. This thing is garbage. However, what is not garbage is the combo skip. So all you have to do to perform this is use the normal charge up heavy attack that you would use for that thing and hold it down briefly instead of like holding it down all the way. So for example, like that, you will get this little swipe instead. This swipe counts as 2 light attacks. So for example, you can do 1 bash and then 1, 2 stomp. And that's just a free combo skip. And that'll allow you to actually use your Adrenaline Surge charges off of like the first and second charge on the White Scar's Chainsword and actually use a stomp anytime. Because normally, if you run like 1, 2, 3 stomp, that will run out before your like 2.2 second stacks. It will still function on the 3rd charge because the 3rd charge of Adrenaline Surge off the block weapons here will work for 4 seconds on the White Scar's Chainsword. And also, if you are using the 4-second charge, that'll allow you to double stomp out on Trampling Stride with the combo skip here. So it is very useful for like utility reasons, also just getting you back a bunch of HP, and also very powerful on other chainswords, because what this allows you to do is basically every time you get a perfect parry on an enemy in this game, they have a 50% damage taking debuff applied to them, and being able to combo skip like this will allow you to do the highest damaging attack you can pretty much before they're actually out of that debuff state. So really strong here, and the White Scarf Chainsword is only stronger at times like light, heavy combos because it is that fast, but there are still reasons to take the combo skip here because those will simply allow you to get to stomps you would otherwise be unable to with the Adrenaline Surge active and get like full combos off on things like the Hellbrew like I showed before. So hopefully that explains the combo skip. That's pretty much all there is to say about this round. And that should cover pretty much everything you need to know about the White Scarf's Chainsword for practical gameplay. Now, I will say, keep in mind, this was on the tactical class we're testing this on. This was without heightened vigor or battle focus.
Atmospheric conditions are suboptimal to mission deployment and evacuation. This is as close as I can get you to the Longinus Gamma facility.
Halt and observe.
Tyranny, Roland class, Apex size.
Take heed, Viridian. Trigon target acquisition vectors are unknown. Best to keep moving and stay together. Projecting a sense of tactical dominance may deter it from attacking. For now. The Trigon stalks us, waiting for an opportune moment to strike. Form up and move.
Engaging Tyranid combatant.
Power packs!
Whipping fresh magazine. Iron Halo, one line. Rearm.
Synchronize movement and press forward.
Reposition and refocus. The Trigon alters its approach vector.
A lift station lies just ahead, Viridian. Considering the Trigon's presence is incidental to our objective, utilize the lift to reroute closer to Metrian's Keep.
You heard the Magos brothers! Rally at the lift platform!
Hail, Astartes. I have summoned the transport lift at the request of Magos Gallio. Remain patient. Transport lift inbound. Perplexing. I have transmitted no authorizations. This positioning is disadvantageous. Do not linger too long in any one spot. Transport lift status incomprehensible. Begins, ceases. Begins, ceases.
Regroup and relocate. Disregard servo scope. Xenos countermeasures successful.
The lift has arrived. Rally at the lift!
Proceed to objective. We are out. Magazine on blazing wings!
Ignoel Metrian welcomes you to Longinus Gamma Bio Research Facility. Please do not disturb the lift. It would be a waste. I have no music to play while you descend. Use the silence to contemplate your futile, brutal existence in service to a desiccated cause.
Damaged servo skull logged into mission report.
Viridian, the servo skull is enslaved to an unknown master. I am...
Irritant signal silenced. Continue to discuss your fate amongst yourselves. It changes nothing.
Block out any distractions. Our orders stand.
A suggestion, abandon Gallio's misguided vendetta against the Magos biologists. Do you know what Gallio and Metrian achieved together in the past? Ask about Project Zeta-6 if you ever speak to him again.
That Trigon is a greater threat than a malfunctioning servo skull. Specialized bioform neutralized.
That servo skull deserves extra scrutiny. And so does whomever tampered with it.
Servo skulls serve the Imperium beyond their lifespan. Remember that,
Alert! Tyrannid unit sighted.
Your righteous fate is illegal to the Tyrannid.
Subterranean Tyrannid annihilated. Execute Iron Halo tactics.
check your aim. Specs deep scan ready.
A hideous display of prowess. But our orders stand.
We will get our chance at it, brothers.
I was worried you had fallen victim to Metrian's mastery of malphonic disruptive frequencies, but now the uncomfortable sensation associated with relief cools my remaining skin. Be warned, Viridian. Metrian cannot hope to stand against you alone, so she will lie and stall in hope the Xenos swarm will devour you. Case in point, she has enslaved that servo skull as a crude mouthpiece. But give her word zero credibility for the mission's sake, and your own. I trust you will hold this Ignoel Metrian
Operation
accountable for sins.
jeopardized.
The facility will be infested in moments.
Statis, the facility is well stocked in mining gear. Requisition Milton charges to eradicate the tunnels and halt the infestation.
Procure melter charges and affix them to the Tyrannid burrows.
A fine instrument of destruction in my hands. I've spawn tunnel collapsed.
Advance towards objective. Recalibrate your aim, brother.
Inside the facility, you'll find Metrian cowering in her data enclave.
Gallio, old friend of mine. If you missed our binaric discourses, you could have sent communication. I observe you still pathetically cling to thews of soft tissue. Remember, meat lacks efficiency, whereas metallic alloys stave off corrosion and degradation for far longer.
How far you have fallen, Ignoel, that I must drag you back into the light.
Exterminate the Tyranids!
3 meat lackeys seems like overkill, Galio. You think too highly of me. These poor, inert variables shall perish here, devoured by the Tyranids, and you do not care.
Mitrian shut down power to the uplink terminals. You must resupply the generator with a backup power cell. She hopes the Tyranids will annihilate you, but she underestimates the second company.
We shall restore the Emperor's light to this facility.
I beseech you, Galio, bear witness to the summation of our divine arithmetic from long ago. Remember Project Zeta 6?
As my theorems predicted, your life vector has converged with renegade factors, and Zeta 6 was a waste of computational resources and one perfectly good Grox. Surrender now, and perhaps leniency can be granted. After the mind clones, of course.
You are a redundant functionary. Your Astartes shall die here, alone, in the dark.
This power cell should work. We must reawaken these generators with power cells. Symptoms indicate the presence of toxins.
Blazing winds!
Kill confirmed. Major Tyranid threat. Obtaining armaments. Iron Hail online.
Light and darkness. How easily flesh parts deceive their perception.
Disrupt her attempts to connect with our facility's network. Mitrian will seize any opportunity to damage crucial data, which would deem this mission a failure. Do not let her connect to the consoles.
Initiate command console blockade.
I am copies of copies, backups of backups, and I degrade not. You have already fallen.
Secure that console uplink. Mitrian's connection is now offline.
Return to Mitrian's containment unit. See, Mitrian, the more you thrash, the deeper you set our hopes. These tender clods of Astartes flesh have accomplished nothing, Galio. My machinations are already achieving my designs. You are fools' pests. Science, Mitrian. Meridian, confirm possession of her quivering mass of computational gray matter.
Magos biologist is in Viridian's possession.
Pilot, Viridian is ready for evacuation. Sending updated extraction coordinates to you now, Viridian.
Jump pack refueled. Mark this position. Inspect prime. That's it. Watch your fire, brother.
tear you limb from limb given half a chance. Advance as one.
No storms shall delay us any longer.
All-stake scan confirms this is the correct vector.
Ammunition restocked.
Marine, I cannot land with that burrowing abomination lurking about. Deep scans have penetrated the atmospheric disturbances and Metrium's meddling code. Trigon vulnerability data pushed to your displays.
The Imperium demands the Trigon's extermination. Target lock on its vulnerabilities. The thermal power of the Imperium on this infestation. Employing hyperlethal tactics to pacify tyranny presence. Xenos assailed us! Self-triage. I am ready. Intercepting projectiles.
Trigon kill confirmed.
Attention. Services not found. Operators required.
This place crawls with Xenos abominations. A survivor calls for ill-begotten blood. A pestilent swarm. Xenos' hunger is insatiable, but the Imperium is indomitable. I am the righteous storm descendant.
Dispatch payload.
Swapping magazine.
The bindings have been loosened. I thank this machine's spirit.
Good. Escort the payload to the train.
The cogitator shows me a transport lift we may utilize.
Locus established. For the All-Father! For the Emperor! Servo harness gun available. Replenishing firepower! Another bloody sandstorm incoming! I shall suffer your poor aim for only so long. Reload! Reloading magazine!
No storm will delay our
Warheads are a thing to behold. Advance while it is clear. The Emperor sees your impious head.
This should get the rest of you across. I have walked worlds unnumbered, and have not yet found one I could not conquer.
I thought we would have encountered more Xenos by now. What needs grappling?
Obstruction detected. Removal is required to commence.
I'll see it done.
The rubble is eliminated.
For the All Father!
For the Emperor!
As an angel of death. I shall suffer your poor age for only so long.
Track 6. Request 7.
Xenos infestation is stemmed. For the Emperor! Swapping magazine.
Department Terminatorum Weapons Transfer. 3639 loading complete. Manifest updated.
Take flight and let terror fall. That pitiful Xenos was but an abhorrent blight. Zone shield your mind. Replenishing firepower. My war gear is satisfied. Into the breach once more! For the Emperor!
Ordnance in place, Lieutenant. Give us the word. Good. Deploy it.
Rats shall stray! Our boats push to overwhelm us! Stop them! The world is seen all sorts of consumed.
Launching water.
Engine power depleted. Initiating charging cycle. Departmental regulatory penalties will be assessed.
Adjusting our tactics to overcome.
Talassa, I have multiple swarms moving to your location. You have their attention. Deal with them swiftly. We will not get another shot at this.
Tyranids emerging from the tunnels.
Funnel the vermin into the causeway and let them battle the engine!
Cogitating proposition.
Massacre all loathsome abominations!
Rail shift completed. Schedule conflicts detected. Changes suspended until new processing is complete.
Total victory. Gift. Specialized bioform neutralized.
Dispatches. Return to your stations. Motive power charged 25%. Engine charged to 50%. Fault in charging system detected. Engine seal requested to perform rites of restoration.
Link your armor to the Mechanicus device. You will need to keep close proximity to the charging station until the reset is complete.
Charging system detected. Engine seal requested to perform rites of
not let that one conjure reinforcements.
Reloading.
The armory provides.
I am the righteous storm of the Their tactical parade is unsuccessful.
Another alien falls to the Imperium's keen blade.
Swapping out magazine.
Circuit complete. Energy transfer resumed. Engine charged to 75%. The engine is charged and prepared for departure.
Deploy immediately. Underway.
Emperor, guide this weapon into the heart of our foe.
Detonation in 5.
What's going on, brothers? It's Matt Deeks here. Appreciate you all for stopping by. So today's video is a different one. It's a fun video. It's not going to be the usual, build video, news video, or update or tip video, whatever. We're not going to be talking about that. Today, we're talking about something that every Space Marine 2 player has probably thought about at least once. We've all played enough operations by now to notice a pattern. Certain types of people seem to gravitate towards certain classes. You load into a mission, see your teammates, and immediately start making assumptions. You see an assault player and think okay, this guy is definitely about to do something reckless. You see a tactical player and immediately knows he's read every patch note since launch. You see a Vanguard player and start mentally preparing for the absolute chaos that is about to ensue. And honestly, most of the time, it's surprisingly accurate. Now, before anyone gets upset, guys, this is all just meant to be fun. Every class is awesome. Every class brings something important to the squad, and every class attracts some genuinely great players. But if Space Marine 2 classes were students in high school, this is exactly how I think they'd act. Guys, if this sounds fun to you and you enjoy Space Marine 2 content, you enjoy builds, tips, tricks, gameplay news, everything from that to live streams, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below if these assumptions are accurate and these class attributes are accurate, and let me know again, guys, what you think I should have changed around, or if I'm pretty accurate on a class that maybe you play. Let's say you're a tactical main and it really hits home. Let me know down below, guys. And again, guys, if you want to support the channel a little further, consider becoming a channel member. Thank you so much to all the channel members. With that being said, let's begin. All right, brothers, let's start with Assault. So if you're an Assault main, there is a very good chance you're the kind of person who gets excited when things start going wrong. Most players see a giant Tyranid swarm and immediately start thinking about positioning. You start thinking about how cool it's going to look when you jump directly into the middle of it. You don't wait for opportunities, you create them. The average Assault player has absolutely no fear, or at least none they're willing to admit. If a Bulwark sees danger, he prepares. If a Tactical sees danger, he analyzes. If an Assault sees danger, he's already halfway through the air. Assault players don't just like action, they need action. Standing still for too long is probably like mentally painful for them. They'd rather die doing something awesome than survive doing something boring. And honestly, I kind of understand that. Now, if assault players were students in high school or college or whatever, they would absolutely be the kid everyone knows. The one climbing onto the gym roof, the one attempting skateboard tricks that have absolutely no business working, but somehow they get it done. The one who says, watch this, and often everyone immediately starts backing away and preparing for just something bad to go wrong. Teachers know his name, the principal knows his name, the janitor knows his name, and somehow his parents are constantly getting phone calls. But here's the thing, people genuinely like him because life is never boring when he's around. He's the guy creating stories everyone remembers, the guy who makes ordinary days interesting, the guy who always volunteers first. And that's exactly what assault players bring to Space Marine 2. They're fearless, they're energetic, and when everybody else hesitates, they're already charging into battle. Sure, they may, occasionally need a revive, but nobody can ever excuse them or accuse them of lacking commitment, all right? Every squad needs somebody willing to go first, and assault players are already usually more than happy to volunteer. But what a lot of people don't talk about is that behind all the chaos, most assault players are actually incredibly brave in their gameplay. They're willing to take risks that other people won't. They're willing to jump into uncomfortable situations. They're willing to be the first one through the door. And that confidence can sometimes get them in trouble for sure, right? I'm not saying that they're not going to get in trouble, but it's also what makes them valuable. Because when everybody else hesitates, the assault player acts. When everybody else is looking for certainty, the assault player is already moving. And in Space Marine 2, that's often exactly what a squad needs. Somebody willing to break the stalemate, somebody willing to create momentum. And